Welcome to Orange and Blue. So I love to rhyme and I love to teach bagpipe lessons online. Okay, sorry for all the word distractions here. Let's get going on the lesson, but first, give me a thumbs up, give me a like, comment below if you enjoy the Get Bagpipe Ready workshops. If you're learning Orange and Blue, I'd love to hear from you. And there's a link below the video where you can access all 8 lessons of this workshop and check out my other workshops as well. So in lesson 1, we did a little chunk of music, got another nice workable bit of music for you here in lesson 2. So here's lesson 1. And then I'm going to tack on what we're going to cover in lesson 2 here. So the lesson 2 chunk. And there's a couple embellishments in there, but we'll keep things simple to start and not worry about the embellishments just yet. Just let's get down the notes a little bit here. So we're on a D already. We ended off lesson 1 on a D. We're going from that D, the last note in the first bar of music, into the F. D to F transition. And we didn't do D to F, but we did do F down to D in lesson 1. So let's just take a quick moment to get our fingers wrapped around that. So that's our transition, D to F. So bottom hand has to drop to that low A position. We talked about that in lesson 1. So you're good there. The pinky will come up. Top hand, the bottom 2 fingers lift up. Top finger and the thumb both stay on the hole. There's our D to F. And then we're just walking up the scale. Lift up the top finger, then up to high A from that high G. So the high G to high A. The ring finger on the bottom of the chanter has to touch down and the thumb on the top of the chanter has to come off. And then high A down to F, and we did do that transition back in lesson 1, so you're a rock star at that already. So that's what we got so far in lesson 2, and there is a G grace note in there which we'll talk about in a moment, and we'll leave out this D throw for the moment being as well. So we end back on a D. So F down to D. Yes, we did that transition in lesson 1, so you're good there. And if you're not, you will be soon. All right, so then we have 2 Ds in a row, and we're going to separate them with something, and I bet you can guess what. We can separate them with our same old G grace note, strike with the top finger. A grace note is an up and down movement. A strike is a down and up movement. And here we've combined them. If you want to make it simpler, you could just do a G grace note and not worry about that strike. But with it being 2 Ds in a row, I think you can handle it. And if you can't, then don't worry about it. You can just do the G grace note. And I'm not going to write the bagpipe police any report on you. Okay, so let's add in a couple embellishments here. We have another G grace note as well as a D throw to talk about. So starting from the D, our D to F. So we're going from the last note, the D in bar 1, into the first note of bar 2, that F, with a G grace note. So that G grace note finger, the top finger of the top hand, has to lift first. Then we transition down to low A at the bottom hand. The top hand, the other 2 fingers have lifted before that top finger comes down again. As far as G grace notes go, this is a tricky one because you've got lots of fingers on the move. So don't be afraid to slow it down for a while. Once you got a grasp on that, we're going to jump into this D throw coming from a F. So the D throw is this part here. And let's break that down a little bit. So we're coming from the F, we're going down to low G, and then we do a D grace note with the top finger of the bottom hand. So hear that low G first before we do that D grace note. After that D grace note, middle two fingers will lift to a C, and then the top finger to a D. There's the second half of our D throw. If we put both halves together, don't be afraid to do it slow and even like that till you get all the components lined up in place, and then you can work on the speed. And then we have our G grace note strike. So let's play lesson 1 and 2 together here, nice and slow, and feel free to have a listen, then join along. And really important in Strathspeys is the rhythm, but I'm going to save that for lesson 3 or 4 where I talk a little bit more about the rhythm. But just I don't want to overwhelm you with too much info this lesson. We just want a little bite of music, but just have a listen to which notes are longer and which notes are shorter. And I'll give you a hint. If there's a note that has an extra little dash or extra little tail on the bottom, it's going to be shorter with that extra little line than ones with a little dot that are tied to it at the bottom. Those ones with the little dot are going to be a little bit longer than the ones with the little line. But yeah, for now, even just have a listen, get it in your head, and then that's another way your fingers can learn. So here's lesson 1 and 2 strung together. Again, like, subscribe, thumbs up. Let me know if you're learning from the Get Bagpipe Ready workshops. I'd love to hear from you in the comments, and the links there for all the lessons. So here's lessons 1 and 2. One more time. I'll see you in lesson 3.